Hello and welcome to PlayStation Racer. My name is Mitchell Morgan, and in this video we are revisiting menu book number 47. We've already got two stamps in this book, Watkins Glen Long Course and the Circuit de Saint-Croix. The first one we managed to get first, and then in France we managed to get third. But today we are working on the Fuji International Speedway. So let's head off to Asia and see if we can improve on the third place that we got last time. We only actually need third to get the menu book, which is good enough. But you'll notice that I have run this before and I have got 20th. That is because I am really struggling with this one. And a few people are actually commenting on my channel that they are also struggling with this one. I've tried all sorts of tires, I've tried all sorts of pit stops. So what I did is I ran the full race and I didn't care where I came, so I came last. And then I looked at the replay of the leader. And whilst that's helped me with some of the braking points and the gears, etc., I really do not understand how that car can go so fast without pitting. And I am going to continue to work on this one, and hopefully if you're watching this video I have cracked it. But for now, let's go into the race and see how we can do with 15 laps over the Fuji International Speedway for the Super Formula. Let's get into the video. Now, before we get into the video, I just want to touch on a question that was put to me by one of my viewers. This is Kaotika943, I hope I'm saying that correctly. And they say, is there any reason you're not using the overtake function? It might help you to catch up with the leaders. Now, I read this comment after I'd done all three races. I spent hours trying to do these, and it was one of those duh moments. I thought that the overtake button was only available if you bought nitrous, and of course I didn't have nitrous on this car. So I didn't even realise that you could use the overtake button, and that would have been perfect up the straights, those very long straights, to use that overtake button to catch up with the leaders. Why, oh why I didn't use that, I really don't know. And I had a look afterwards, had a look at my Logitech settings in the game, and you'll see there that I've got a nitrous overtake button. Absolutely no reason why I didn't use that button on my wheel to help me to get through the race and obviously to try and catch up with the leaders. One of those real head in hand moments where that could well have made all the difference. So if you were struggling with these three challenges, don't forget to use that overtake button and see if that makes your life a little bit easier. Anyway, enough of that. Let's get into the video and see how we did. So here we go. We are on full power for this one. The fuel gets you right the way to the end. I've actually swapped the tyres out for this run where I got third place for the racing soft tyres, and the strategy was to try and get these tyres to lap number 8 by just basically trying to look after them, and then put another set of racing softs on. The thinking behind that is we were able to get through the pack up to the leaders on this first set of softs. So my thinking is if we didn't come out too far behind the leaders and seeing well over a pit stop away, then I thought that I might be able to get back through the pack again and see if I can get back onto. So that basically is the strategy for this one. At the moment it's all about really keeping the tyres, life in the tyres as much as we possibly can. Now I'm just going to let this run through to the end of this lap. It's not a really long lap, so we're just coming up the main straight now. This is where you would use that overtake button to catch up with the front. Now I'm not using that overtake button at all during this race, so if you do use that, then hopefully that will make life a little bit easier for you. So at this stage we're in 15th place with 13 seconds behind the leader. When I come down into this corner, I brake at the beginning of those curves, get it changed down into third gear, get it turned, and then get back on the power as quick as we can. As with all of these Super Formula cars, be very, very careful about how you're pushing it. Through there is fifth gear. Just line up on that bollard at the side there and just make sure you can go to the right of it. If not, you're going to get a penalty, as I have done there, half a second. And I found that if I got penalties, what I would try and do is to catch up with the cars that are in front of me, or a car that's in front of me. And as you get to the penalty section, serve your penalty and then get on the back of the car that's just overtaken you as quick as you can. And then that car will help you to get back up to speed as it pulls you down the straight. So that's just another little useful tip if you are unlucky enough to get one of the penalties. Hopefully you'll see me putting that into action now. So we've got a car in front of us. I think we've got a few cars behind. So I dropped down into fourth gear as soon as we hit the penalty, and then I'll nip straight behind Zono here to get him to pull me along the track so that we lose as little time as possible. So I'm just going to let this one run through for the moment, and then I'll talk you around the circuit or what I found worked for me. So at the moment we're setting purple sectors, which is quite nice. I'll remind you that we're on soft tyres. Some of the cars around us are on mediums, so we should be quicker. We've managed to get ourselves up into 10th place. We are 9.5 seconds away from the leaders, and really just having to absolutely go for it. Every single corner was just concentration, looking for ways of getting by people, trying to brake as late as possible but not outbrake myself. This isn't the cleanest of races. It's the etiquette here really went out of the window. I need to get through the traffic, so there is some barging, there is some really audacious moves, but it's what I had to do to get through the pack, to get up with the leaders, so that we could then get into the pits and then get out of the paddock. So we're just coming up to finish lap number 3. This commentary is going to be pretty quick, so hopefully you'll be able to keep up with me. If not, pause and rewind the video if you need to. So what I'm looking for here is the beginning of the curves. As soon as you see the beginning of the curves, bury the brake pedal, get it down into second or third. Basically you want to be in third gear really through that corner. I was second on that one because of the traffic, but normally third gear. You want to be fifth gear through here, and just make sure you're to the right of that sticking up bollard there. Fifth gear all the way through here, just feathering a little bit as you need, and then bury the brake pedal down into second or third. I just did second there to make sure that I didn't run into the purple car, but normally just third gear through there, and then up through the gears, and it's super fast all the way down the hill. As you go underneath the Dunlop sign, bury the brake pedal again, get it down to second gear, not first or third, you want second for that one, get it turned in, and then really let the car run. So we're going up through the gears into third, stick through third gear all the way through here, trying to hit the apexes. I actually use the middle of the track for that particular corner there, but watching for the apex again. Briefly up into fourth sometimes, but basically you want to be into third for this corner. When I watched the leader doing that corner, he was doing it in second. I tended to find with second I would often spin up the wheels as I was exiting the corner. So I tended to find that third gear is better. Now we've got a little bit of clean air. We're up in the fourth place already on lap 5, which is the start of lap 5. So braking at the beginning of the curves. Down into third gear, get the power down as soon as you can, being careful not to spin. And then we stay over to the right hand side, and we want fifth gear, just watching the apex there, watching that bollard, fifth gear all the way through there. Leave it in fifth, and then feather the throttle through this really long curve. And then as soon as, I don't actually know where the braking point was there, I didn't really have a braking point, one of those floating ones, where it just felt the right time to bury the brake pedal and down into third for that particular corner. And then up through the gears, bury it, to turn in for this one. Again, you'll need to rewind or pause the video to see exactly where I'm braking, because it wasn't really much of a marker there. A lot of that was just muscle memory and feel. Gone a little bit wide there. If you do go wide there, use the tarmac so that you don't lose too much time. I did say this wasn't a tidy race. That's an example of where it isn't tidy. Try and get on the power as soon as you can for this straight. The more power that you can get at the beginning of the straight, the more chance you're going to have to try and catch the cars in front. So you can see now I'm actually catching the car quite nicely. I don't think I'm in the slipstream. 2 seconds wouldn't be. So obviously getting a good exit off of that corner, and then leaving the braking really late, really braking hard, third gear, get it turned in, just try and get on the back of the third place car. And that's basically my lap. You basically just need to do that over and over again, 15 laps. Just bear in mind that the tyre wear, just be careful, because you will lose a little bit of grip as the tyres wear down. Also, you'll notice there's quite a lot of marbles on the track. I try and stay out of the way of those if you can, although you're going to find that I run over them quite a fair bit. So we're up into third place now. Second gear through there. Sometimes you can take quite a bit of the curve on the entry of the chicane. If you do, make sure that you're straight, and just make sure that you come off the curve cleanly, otherwise you will find that you will spin. So that's another little tip that I will leave you. So at this stage my times aren't too bad. We opened up with a 121, but the main laps was a 124, 123, 125, 125. So yeah, they're all there or thereabouts. They're not brilliant laps, but they're not too bad. We've got a cushion of 1.8 seconds to the car behind, and we are 3 seconds away from the car in front, nearly 5 seconds away from the leader. So again, there you can see third gear. That was quite a nice corner there, just taking a bit of the curve as you go through there, and then get up to fifth gear, riding that curve, turned in, real commitment. And then as we go through here, just feathering a little bit, and just watch the steering inputs on that one as well, because it's a bit of a strange corner. It isn't a consistent curve. It's sort of like a dome shape, so you need to be a little bit careful with the steering inputs. Again, I would suggest just pausing and slowing down the video if you need to, and just have a look at the little dots that's moving backwards and forwards above the speedometer. Again, I've gone a little bit wide there, so I've used that bit of tarmac so I don't lose too much time. I said before and I'll say it again, this was not a tidy race, and it certainly could be a little bit better. And don't forget, as you come out of this corner, that overtake button. Annoyingly, on the screen, you've got the overtake gauge there, just to the right hand side. Why I didn't use that, I really don't know. It would have made a huge difference. The good thing is we have actually got fastest lap at this point. I don't suspect we'll keep that forever, but I think using the overtake button, we would have probably been able to get first in this particular race. We would certainly have been able to make more of a cushion over the first place driver as we exited the pits after putting the tyres on, because I think we would have caught him and been able to get ahead. So yeah, lesson learned. Thank you ever so much for pointing that out. I have pinned the comments on that particular video and obviously mentioned that up front in this one. As you can see there, I took quite a bit of the curve there. Just hopefully we didn't get a penalty. I don't think we did, but this is an example of just how much you can take. Try and hit the apex of that first corner as you're going through there. That does set you up nicely for this little complex, and the same with that apex there. Just use that extra bit of curve just to run off. And I'm a little bit tight on this corner that time. It's better to go a little bit over to the left and then cut across so you can carry as much speed as you can demonstrate. So this was my strategy. Lap 8 was to come in. You need to keep the accelerator down until the white line, and you can see my tyres were pretty well worn, particularly on the left-hand side. Annoyingly, not many people pitted. Fraga pitted with us. They were on soft as well. A few other people pitting behind, but most of the people up the front didn't. Be very careful of the white line when you are exiting the pits, that you don't cross that. And then be really careful as you go through this corner, because you have got cold tyres. They're not up to temperature yet, and you just want to give them a little bit of respect just for the first few corners. Now we're back down in 10th position, but what is really interesting is we are only 19 seconds behind the leaders. So really we've almost, not quite, pretty much reset back to where we were earlier in the race. So I was feeling quite good here, because if we can get through this traffic and get caught up with the leaders, then maybe this was game on. And obviously you're watching this video, so you know that we did actually manage to get on the podium. Not quite as high as I would have liked, a little bit of a slide there. You really don't want to slide the car around too much, because you do want to be trying to look after the tyres as much as you can. The more life that you've got in them at the end of the race, the happier you will be. So up into 8th place at the moment. We are just under 18 seconds away from the leaders at the moment. I think we picked up a slipstream off the car in front, which is quite nice. We're going to need to move to the right to get these under braking. So 3 cars there, or slight knock on the white one. I did say this wasn't tidy. So there's 2 cars down there, which has now got us up into 5th place. And now we are in some clean air. So now you'll be able to see how I was taking this particular lap. I think that the lap wasn't too bad for an average driver. Obviously some of the A-rated and A+ rated drivers will be cringing at what I'm doing here. But it worked for me, and if I can do this as an average racer, then I'm sure you can. That was my first real big mistake. Way too deep into that corner. I had to cut back across. That cost me a lot of time. So we had been doing 124s, 125s. Obviously we've got the pits lap, the in lap and the out lap. I'm not quite sure where we are going to be for this particular one. We've got the leaders are now pitting for their tyres, which is great news, because we should be able to now jump them. Having a quick look behind to see where the car is, you'll notice that we have got rain, but it is reasonably light rain, which did play into my hands a little bit. We've got that car, Drummond is coming, Drummond is coming past us. We've got Yamanaka on the inside, so lots of traffic to worry about, so we took that corner just a little bit more careful. We let Yamanaka go. They are on obviously pressure tyres. And now what we want to try and do is get on the back of Yamanaka and just see if we can get that 3rd place. So 11th lap at the moment we are on. We're currently in 4th place, which is not good enough. And we've got a car in front of us that is on much pressure tyres. So we're going to need to look at using all of our braking zones where we know we are good. So the first one is into the chicane, as you saw there. And we actually managed to get 3rd place. Now we've just got to keep Yamanaka behind us. Heisel and Okumoto have just disappeared. They're still 8 seconds and 7 seconds down the road. So at this point I had reserved the fact that we were really going to be on for a 1st or 2nd, unless of course they're going to pit. So I'm trying to safeguard the 3rd position. Okamoto has actually pitted. That is going to promote us to 2nd place. But you'll notice that I've got a car on the right hand side. So these cars obviously have got, I think they've got fresher tyres than I have, so able to brake a little bit later. That was a bit of a wake-up call. Managed to get back into 3rd place, but really we want to get 2nd if we can. So Yamanaka is back in front of us, pushing as much as we can. Managed to get up the inside through there, but he's got better drive off the corner. I'm going to need to tuck in behind as we head down towards the chicane. Just moving out into the left, so dive down the inside through that chicane. Managed to keep second place for the moment as well. Lap we are on. That's a nice way to take that corner. You can see how much of the curve we took. Getting it slowed down for this corner. Using second gear now. Got a little bit wide there. That's going to cost us badly. You can see that Yamanaka is on the radar. Just dropped off the radar now. 0.6 of a second behind us. So no comfort zone at all. This really is just going for it. Heisel, we're not really making any headway on that car at the moment. So just really pushing as hard as we can. We've got absolutely no worries about tyres, no worries about fuel. So we've still got half a tank of fuel left. Tyres are wearing a little bit. Oh, we got a penalty. No, that is going to really hurt. That is almost definitely going to cost us second place now. Lopez is in second place. It's overtaken Yamanaka, so I'm suspecting that Lopez is on fresh tyres. And I need to get a good 2 or 3 seconds ahead of Lopez to be able to keep him at bay with the penalty. So what we're going to need to do for this particular penalty is when we serve it, we're going to need to get on the back of Lopez as quickly as we can. At the moment we're not really getting away from him. Went a bit wide there. Not a great corner here either. This car is starting to slide around a little bit now. So Lopez is 0.4, 0.3. Got better drive off of the corner. Now we get into the slowdown. We've got 2 cars now. So Lopez has come past us, puts us into 3rd place, and Yamanaka as well. So we outbrake both of those 2. We slow down as much as we can. Oh, and then we get a tangle. We get punted from behind. I think that was me slowing down and them on faster tyres. That's now put us down into 4th place. Not a good time to have a bit of an incident like that. So at this point my heart is really going. We know where we're quick, we know where we can do overtakes. We need to get back in front of Cravont. Whether we're going to be able to catch up with Lopez, I'm not quite sure. Lopez is on really fast tyres. I've got a bit deep there. Just trying to keep Drummond behind us. I apologise if I'm pronouncing these names incorrectly. That was a nice corner. Pleased with that one. This one needs to be good. We're just hugging the inside line at the moment. Trying not to give Drummond any opportunity to get past us. Oh, too deep there. Needing to use this little bit of tarmac just to try and get the power down. You can see on the radar that Drummond is right there. He's got my slipstream coming up the right hand side, and you've got Yamanaka in the mix as well. As we go into the final lap, we're back down into 4th place. For some reason, Drummond slowed down really early there. He even let Yamanaka through. I'm not quite sure what was going on there, but that did give me an opportunity to get ahead. Half a second is the advantage. Nothing at all in it right now. Final lap, I'll remind you, really got to go for it through this last little section. So down into 3rd gear, getting it turned in on the power as quick as we can. 9 seconds to the leader, he's gone. Not going to be able to do anything about that. Lopez is 5 seconds down the road, so this is all about 3rd place now. If it wasn't for that bump that we had going into that first corner, could have been a different story, but for now this is all about trying to keep Yamanaka behind. We know that he's quick, we know he's on fresher tyres than we've got, Our tyres half worn, basically pretty much all the way around. So we have got to be a little bit careful. And as we come around the last corner, we needed to make that good on the power. Half a second ahead. Yamaha is closing us down. Can we get to the line before and hold this third place? Well, of course we can. And across the line for third place. And that was an awful lot of miles to do these 3 races. Bearing in mind that car was bought new for this particular challenge. Can't remember actually what the mileage was on the car, but probably 600-700 miles. Quite something. So remember, if you're doing this one and you're struggling, don't forget that overtake button. In the meantime, that is the 3 stamps in the book. Thanks ever so much for watching this video. I hope you found it useful. I hope it helps you to get all 3 of the stamps for the menu book. If it does, please like the video and please hit that subscribe button if you haven't already. If you have, thanks very much for supporting the channel, and I'll see you again very soon. For now, take care. Bye-bye.